Hi guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be learning a lot of mathematical tricks, a lot of cool tricks in multiplication that can help us solve some multiplications mentally in seconds. In fact, without using any book or calculator. So now, the first segment is specific numbers, multiplication of specific numbers. Now let's start with multiplication by 5. Let's start with multiplication by 5. Now, if we are being asked to multiply a number by 5, what do? We do the normal traditional way, tens and units. But there's actually a very cool trick that can make us multiply numbers by 5 easily. An example is when you have 16 times 5. Now, how can you do this very fast? What you do is you half 16, which is what? 8, then add 0 to it. That's 80. Whenever you're multiplying a number by 5, half that number, add 0 to the answer. As simple as that. Very cool, right? Let's look at another example. Let's say you have something like 242 times 5. You don't have to go to the long way. Just half 242, that's 121. Then add 0, that's 1,210. In a second, multiplying by 5. Very simple and fast. Now, why does this work? Does it always work? And why does it work with 5? Now, the idea is that the easiest multiplication we know is multiplication by powers of 10. Like when you multiply a number by 10, by 100, you just add the number of zeros behind. As simple as that, right? So whenever we are multiplying a number by 5, for example, this 242 times 5, we can easily make 5 become 10, right? By multiplying it by 2. Because we know multiplication by 10 is actually very, very simple. Just add 0 behind. But for it to be balanced mathematically, when we have introduced multiplication of 2, we must divide by 2 so that 2 cancels 2, as if we haven't done anything at the end of the day. Okay, so that's why we half one number, then we add 0 behind, because 5 times 2 gives us 10. Hence, the 0 we are adding behind, then we have to half so as there to be balanced. So henceforth, whenever you're multiplying a number by 5, and you say that that number can easily be halved, okay, it can easily be halved, just half it and add 0. Okay, that's a very cool trick. The next one is multiplication by 25. Yes, 25 looks like a big number, but whenever you're multiplying by 25, don't go through the rigorous tens and units method, right? What we are going to do is that, let's assume 16, for example, times 25. The fast way of doing this also is by dividing that number by 4, not to this time around, by 4. Then the answer you get, you add 0, 2 zeros behind, not 1, 2 zeros behind. It means 16 divided by 4. Now we give us 16 divided by 4 is 4. Then add 2 zeros behind. That gives us 400. As simple as ABC. 400. Very, very simple and fast. Whenever you are multiplying a number by 25, divide that number by 4, add 2 zeros behind. You get your answer easily. Let's look at another example. 36 times 25, for example. What do? Divide 36 by 4, that's what? 9. Add 2 zeros, that's 900. 36 times 25 is 900 in a second. In a second, we can do that mentally. Is that not cool? Yes. So why does this work? Okay, still the same idea also, because 25, we can get 100 from 25 easily by multiplying 25 by 4, right? So we multiply 25 by 4, which gives us 100, the 2 zeros that we have. Then because of multiplying by 4, we have to divide by 4. That is why it works. So henceforth, whenever you're multiplying a number by 25, don't go through the long method. Just divide that number by 4 and add 2 zeros. In a second, we are done. That's not all. Now let's look at another number, which is 11, multiplication by 11. By 11. So when we're multiplying by 11, there's also a very cool trick that we can do. Now, what is that trick? Let's say we have 32 times 11. What will it give us? Simple. You write this 3, the first number, write the last number, add the two numbers together, write it in between. That's 352. Easy peasy. Yes, very, very easy. What if we have 3 digits? Multiplying 3 digits by 11. So let's say we have 312 by 11. Well, the trick still works also. You write the first digit 3. 3 plus 1, add this 2, that's 4. 1 plus 2 is what? 3. Write the last digit 2. That's the answer. 312 times. As simple as that. Write the first digit, add the middle one with the first, the middle one with the last, then write the last digit, 3,432. That's very, very simple and fast. So next time we are watching math quizzes or quiz competition, don't be surprised when students like this can multiply numbers like this very fast. It's because of tricks. They know a lot of tricks. So let's let them. Practice makes perfect. Okay, you have to practice and practice and practice. When you practice this trick, it will be part of you. in the sense that whenever you see numbers like this, you identify immediately that yes, there's a trick that I can use for this and use it in seconds. In fact, your friends will be like, wow, this is a math genius. There's a trick they don't know about. So now let's continue. The next segment is combination of numbers. That's combination. That's combination of numbers. Yes, combination of numbers. So the first number combination we'll be doing is that's two numbers ending in 1. That's multiplication of two numbers ending in 1. That is, whenever we are multiplying two numbers that end in 1, for example, 21 times 51, the two numbers end in 1. How can we multiply this very fast? What you will do is that you multiply the first numbers, that's 2 times 5, that's 10. Add the numbers, 2 plus 5, 7, then add 1 behind. That's 1071. Very simple. Let's look at another example. Let's say we have 71 times 21, for example. 2 times 7 is what? 14. 7 plus 2 is what? 9. Add 1 behind. As simple as that, in a second. Very, very fast, very, very simple. That's a very, very cool mathematical trick. Now let's look at a third example where we have to carry. Let's say we have something like let's say we have something like let's say 81 times, let's say 31 for an example now. So 8 times 3, multiply them together. That's 24. Then 8 plus 3 is going to give us 11. So write 1, carry 1. That means it will not be 4, it will be 5. Then add 1 behind. That's 2,511. Very, very simple. Now, it means that whenever we are calculating, okay, or in a quiz, and we see numbers that end in 1 like this, two digits, we can do that fast without using a calculator, without using our books. That's very, very nice. Okay, so that's not all. This trick also works on two numbers starting with 1. That's when you have two numbers that start with 1. This trick can also work for it. Now, let's say we have something like 13 times 12. When the two numbers start with 1, what we're going to do is that instead of multiplying and adding here, you are going to add first before we multiply. That's just the difference. That is, you start with 1, then add the two numbers, 3 plus 2, that's what, 5. Then 3 times 2, which is what, 6. That's 156. That's the opposite of this. This one we multiply first, then we add 1 behind. Here is the opposite. We write 1 first, then add next, then multiply. As simple as that. So whenever you see two numbers, right, that either begins with 1 1 or end in 1 1, you can easily do that with our head. With practice, we have to practice and practice to be perfect with this and to be very, very fast. Okay, so now let's go to the next combination. So the next combination of number is numbers that have the same tens digits. That's condition 1. Then condition 2 is that the unit digits sum up to 10. Whenever you're multiplying two numbers that have same tens digits, for example, let's say 26 times 24, for an example, they have the same tens digits, that's 2, 2, and the sum of the unit digits adds up to 10. The trick is that you multiply 2 times 1 added to this one. Okay, that will be, this one will give us 2 times 3. Okay, that's 2 times 1 plus 2 is 3. That's what, 6. Then 6 times 4 is 24. That's 624. It's very, very simple. Yes, with practice, it's very, very simple. Let's see another example. Let's say we have 45 times, let's say 45. For example, because 4 and 4 are the same, 5 plus 5 gives us 10. So it will be 4 times 5. That's 1 plus 4. That's 4 times 5 is what? 25 times 5 is 25. Very, very simple. With this trick now, it means that we can actually evaluate the squares of multiple of 5 easily with this trick. For example, 45 squared, 25 squared, 35 squared, because 35, the two digits are the same, then 5 and 5 add up to 10. So it works on the square of all multiples of 5. That's two digits multiples of 5. Okay, what I'm saying is that when you're being asked, let's say when you are being asked 35 squared, for example, 35 squared will give us 35 times 35. It falls into this criteria. That's 3 times 4 gives us what? 12. 5 times 5 is 25. 1, 2, 2, 5. That is all the squares of multiple of 5. This trick can work on them as far as they are two digits. You can also have 85 squared. Same thing, 85 times 85, okay? So that gives us 8 times 9, right? 8 times 9 is 72, then 5 times 5 is 25. As easy as ABC. Okay, now, so the last combination of number is when we are multiplying three-digit numbers that start with 1 and 0. Now, please, if you have watched it this far, don't forget to subscribe to my channel to learn a lot of cool tricks like this. I still have a lot of tricks on division that we can learn on percentage and all that. Please subscribe to my channel to learn a lot and as a way of supporting me. Thank you very much. Now, what I'm saying here is that whenever I'm multiplying three-digit numbers that start with 1 and 0, for example, we have 102 times 105. Three digits, they start with 1 and 0, 1 and 0. These kind of numbers are still common, right? What we do is that you write the first two digits, that's 10, 1 and 0. Then you add 2 plus 5 is what? 7. Then 2 times 5 is what? 10. That's 10,710. As simple as that. In a second. Yes, you write this 1 and 0, then add 2 and 5, 7, multiply 2 times 5, 10. As simple as that. Okay, let's look at another example. Let's say we have 104 times 103, for example. How do we do this one? 1 and 0, then 4 plus 3, that's what? 7. That 4 times 3 is what? 12. That's 10,712. As simple as ABC. Yes, now we have come to the end of this multiplication trick. Please, if you have learned something, subscribe to my channel and like this video, share this video for other students to learn. Now, please don't forget, you need to practice. Practice makes perfect. You need to practice and be able to recognize patterns. Whenever you find yourself in an exam that is a no calculator exam, the multiplications that you'll be asked to do will be multiplications like this. They expect you to know some of these tricks, or if you find yourself in a quiz competition and you're being asked to multiply fast, this multiplication will be on numbers that are easy to apply some tricks on. So let us practice this very well. And it's also okay to brag these tricks with our friends and let them believe that you're a mathematical genius. Yes, I also have some other tricks on division, ratio, on percentage, and all that you can learn. Till next time, bye bye.